What's the best boat for you? Whether you're fishing the flats for bonefish or trout, heading offshore trolling for dolphin, or bottom fishing for grouper, Florida Sportsman's best boat will provide the information you need to decide which boat is the best boat for you. Florida Sportsman's boating editor and trusted selected experts have traveled to some of Florida's hottest fishing locations to review the latest in outboard technology, as well as run 36 boats in 12 different classes, including flats boats, bay boats, and center consoles. Today, on Florida Sportsman's Best Boat, we'll be visiting the back bays of Marco Island, home to some of the best snook, trout, and redfish action in the state. Our host, Dave East, boating editor at Florida Sportsman Magazine, will be joined by captain and author Rick Riles, who brings us more than 34 years of experience as a professional boat captain. Dave and Rick will show you a class of 24-foot bay boats and put them through their paces. They'll be conducting walkthroughs, test drives, and reviewing key features, all to help you decide if this is the best boat for you.
Guys, we had such a great time last time we were here, we had to come back. We're here again, Marco Island. This is the gateway to the 10,000 Islands. We're back at Calusa Island Marina because this is the best place we found to show you the class of bay boats we brought this time, which are 24 feet. The boats are tied up in the marina. We can't wait to get out to see them. My co-host for this show is Captain Rick Riles. He's going to be joining me down at the docks. We're going to take these boats out. We're going to run them through their paces, so stay tuned. When your inshore fishing requires you to cross a rough bay, or you need a little bit more room for your fishing buddies, a 24-foot bay boat might be just the ticket. Casting to a redfish or landing a trophy tarpon is much easier with a boat with a taller freeboard than a skiff. Plus, having a hull design that incorporates a sharper entry is where bay boats shine. In the 24-foot range, a bay boat can get you into the backcountry, let you fish in the river, the bays, and the inlets. The larger displacement provides capacity for multiple anglers, loads of storage, and when that big one hits, you'll have the stability to landing. Pushing a boat of this size around with a push pole is out of the question, so a bow-mounted trolling motor is a must. It allows you to fish a shoreline or hold over a deep structure. When it comes to getting back and forth to the ramp, towing requirements for a boat in this size range can be handled by a modest-sized pickup or SUV. A single outboard still gives you maximum performance, and don't be surprised to see one of these larger bay boats battling a dolphin on the weed line or a kingfish on the reef. You'll find many family-friendly features incorporated into the design of most bay boats in the 24-foot class, and on many occasions, they will also show up on the shallow reefs, flying a diver's flag. The three specific boats we ran for this episode were the Blue Wave 2400 Pure Bay, the Edgewater 240 IS, and the Everglades 243cc. The Blue Wave Pure Bay 24. It has a LOA of 24 feet 5 inches and a beam of 8 foot 6 inches. The 2,100-pound hull carries 80 gallons of fuel and can handle up to a 300 horsepower outboard. The Everglades 243cc, it has a hull length of 24 feet 3 inches, a width of 8 foot 2 inches. The 2,100-pound hull carries 80 gallons of fuel and can handle up to a 300 horsepower outboard. The Edgewater 240 IS. It's 24 feet long and 8 foot 7 inches wide. Weighing in at 2,700 pounds, its max horsepower rating is 350 and it's fed by a 77-gallon fuel tank. Taking on the dual role of fishing the bays and having enough displacement to venture offshore is why 24-foot bay boats are so popular and may just be the best boat for you.
Dave, I remember the old days when your anchor line was in with all your other gear and you're trying to pull it out as you're trying to anchor. All of your bay boats now really have such nice anchor lockers. Holds your anchor in place, it doesn't slide around. Look, this one's even got the cutout for your anchor line to where you can close it while you're at anchor. You don't have to worry about taking a wave in there, and your anchor line still comes out of it. Last 18 inches to 2 feet of your boat, it's the ultimate use of space. Dave, this big casting platform up here is a fisherman's dream. Now, you give up a lot of your forward seating that you'll see on other boats.
A front casting deck is important on any boat, especially a bay boat. But I have 3 kids, a wife, we're going to go to the sandbar. For me, having nice, comfortable bow seating is very, very important. You can have cushions that are removable, but you have to have a comfortable place for everybody to sit, because this is where everyone's going to gravitate to. And Rick, I know you like this great big fishing platform. One thing that is really nice is this huge storage compartment. It's got a built-in well for 2 buckets so they stay put when you put them there. And the underside of this, that's all carbon fiber.
You can stick your mother-in-law in there, you don't have to talk to her all day.
I wish. For more information on the Best Boat series, pick up a copy of our new magazine, Florida Sportsman Best Boat, at newsstands, or visit us on the web at floridasportsman.com.
Up next, Captain Rick Riles will present the Florida Sportsman Best Boat Seminar Series with a look at the importance of choosing the right live wells, so stick around. This segment is brought to you by the best-in-class Evinrude E-Tech 150 horsepower outboard engine. Proven power, proven reliability.
Evinrude E-Tech has been outperforming 4-stroke engines for years. But what about the latest 150 4-strokes that claim to deliver 2-stroke-like torque? See the proof for yourself. Get your free DVD now and watch how the 2-stroke Evinrude E-Tech 150 outpulls and out-accelerates the 4-stroke competition. See how it wins when it comes to maintenance, ease of winterization, and more. Evinrude E-Tech is the true champion. Go to evinrude150challenge.com and get your free DVD now.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman's Best Boat. Captain Rick Riles will present the Florida Sportsman Best Boat Seminar Series.
When you're looking to buy a bay boat, a live well is not an option. It's a necessity. And if the boat you're looking at has 2, that's so much the better. Listen, live bait can be a real day saver when the fish have lockjaw. When they won't strike artificials, they'll hit live baits all day long. And when you're taking your kids, it's live shrimp and a popping cork to bring you the kind of action that'll keep them interested all day long. Now that you understand that a bait well in your boat's a must-have, let's talk about size, because as bait wells go, size matters. Actually, 2 things go hand in hand, size and shape. Rounded corners will help keep your baits from injuring themselves in the case of a mullet or a pinfish. But if you plan on using a lot of swimming baits like herrings or sardines, an oval or a round-shaped bait well is a must. These baits need to be able to swim to stay fresh, and if they bunch up in a corner, their mortality rate goes way up. The type of bait you plan on using will also dictate the best size well to look for. Shrimp and crabs do fine in smaller size wells, but if you want to keep any type of small fish ready for action, the bigger the better, and as the number of fish increase, so should the amount of water in the live well. One thing most all fishermen agree on is water flow. Just as importantly as size is the ability for water to be exchanged often. So make sure the manufacturer has used a large enough pump. 500 gallons per hour is average and should be adequate for most of your bait. If your bay boat has a second live well, that's a perfect scenario to keep your live baits separated. Some baits just don't play well together. If you want to increase your odds of catching fish, a bait well is an important feature to look for in your bay boat. So now we've established that a live well is mandatory in your new bay boat. And hey, if your trip doesn't include fishing, the sideline is a great ice chest.
You've got 2 massive storage bins on this boat. They're both insulated, so you can use one for dry storage, you can use one as a fish box, or if you have a really lucky day and you need a lot of storage, both will hold your fish.
Let me tell you something else I love about this boat, okay? You may have noticed, A, I'm pretty old, and B, I'm not very tall, all right? I really need this step, okay? Going up and down at this height all day can be challenging for us old guys. This is a walk in the park coming down the steps. Dave, I'll tell you something I like about this 24 Edgewater. We've got two long boxes like this that can either be rod lockers or else you can insulate one of them like this. I do a lot of offshore fishing. I catch 50-pound wahoo all the time, of course. I slide them right in there in my dreams. But you can slide as long a fish in there as you need to slide. Then on your other side is locking rod storage.
Plenty of room to store 6 rods, but one thing that I think is really unique about this box, when you want to put your rods here, this holds the back end. But when you don't, if you just want to store other things in here, this is out of the way. This is really a cool feature in this boat.
Dave, I got to tell you, with today's prices for rods and reels, I'm glad to have a safe place to put them. Almost all your good bay boats now have got these longer rod boxes like this. I like these in particular.
One thing I like about the Blue Wave in particular is the fact the way they've designed this rod box, you've got 2 shelves here. The butts lock in, but look at this. The spinning reel is not bouncing on the bottom of your rod box, so you're not taking your brand new $200 spinning reel and beating it up as you run across a rough bay.
Yep, with them being at different heights like that too, they can't bang together.
Exactly. Additional storage down in the cockpit sole. Many boats have this. It works as a fish box. It's a great place to put your cast net. You bring your cast net over, it's dirty, it's nasty. You don't want to have to stuff it into a bucket. You can drop it down in here. You can close it, it's out of the way, but when you need it, it's accessible.
Well, that's right, Dave, and you want to make sure that it drains adequately, which of course if it's in the bilge it will, so you don't have to worry about fish blood and guts and stuff staying in the bottom of your boat. It's a good place for it. Boy, I like this feature, Dave. I tell you never have enough storage, but having one that pops out like that, that's out of the way, just kick it shut, and that's where you can keep your stuff. It stays dry. Put a couple of tackle trays in there, you're set to go.
There's plenty more to come, so stick around for more Florida Sportsman's Best Boat. This segment is brought to you by Rodan, precision-guided trolling motors.
Get ultra-precise anchoring with the press of a button. Or hold your ground while flipping critter baits on weed lines for big Florida bass. Or take your trolling motor anchor to the flats to target redfish and trout. Rodan HD GPS anchor and trolling motor is silent, clean, and it's your game changer for freshwater and saltwater.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman's Best Boat. Let's get back to Dave and Rick as they review the console features and layout on our featured 24-foot bay boats.
And Rick, most of the fishing is going to take place in the front of the boat anyway. Your live well's up here, but having storage up here for your tackle, for your knives, for any of your equipment you need, this is a great use of space on the center console. A unique feature that's not available on a lot of 24 bay boats is having a potty. You know, I've got 3 daughters, and they won't go out with me all day unless there's a potty. They may never use it, but just the fact that it's there, they're happy.
Does it do any good to tell them to go before you get on the boat? Probably
No, not at all.
It doesn't. You're right. This is designed for your daughters. And they're going to be modest enough they want to use that. Plus, look at all the storage space.
Rick, I love this hatchback here. You can remove it, and everything is right there and it's accessible. All your wiring, your hydraulic lines, real easy to work on.
Dave, I come from kind of a big boat world where there's, separate panel boxes and all. I love this. There's all your breakers, your battery switches, everything right there. Your wiring is very easily accessible from inside the console. It's a neat way to lay out your wiring. Dave, the heart of any center console boat is the console, where the helm is, okay? Talk about a great use of space. Putting your big screens here. You've got all your Yamahas, your gauges right here, your throttles right where it makes it easy to work up and down. And let me tell you something, the first time I saw a boat with a tilt steering wheel, I thought, oh, come on, that guy's lost his mind. No, you haven't. Let me tell you, the steering wheel is a lot more comfortable when you're sitting down. If you've got it like this, then when you go to stand and make a run, it's a whole lot better like this.
Well, this is where you're going to spend most of the time in the boat. Even with all the room that you've got on this console, I'm in the seated position, I can see over it. And I'm vertically challenged, so for me to be able to see over a console while I'm sitting down is very important.
That's what I'm telling you. Every inch of a boat that you build is a compromise, okay? You could have made this taller if you didn't have the windshield that goes up and down, but then you wouldn't be able to see over the top of it. So it looks to me like this was just about perfect. This is the height console I would use.
Oh yeah.
Dave, I remember 30 years ago when they went from a seat right here to a rocket launcher to a It's been a constantly evolving process. This may be the next step in the evolution. It's a rocket launcher while you're running. Once you shut down, it becomes as comfortable a seat as you could ever sit on to run your boat from. You want to be able to work your lines, just put it back up, and it's a rocket launcher again. Coolest thing going.
Comfortable seating in any of the bay boats, but on the Blue Wave, they've got something that's really unique. Very comfortable seating, but they'll separate, they'll swivel. So if we're bottom fishing, I can sit here comfortably, still fish over the side. I can spin all the way around if we're trolling, and I can watch the baits. Very comfortable seat and real good use of space.
Let's check in with Dave East as he presents the Florida Sportsman Best Boat Seminar Series on Systems Access.
On any new boat, even if it's new to you, systems have to be maintained. If you operate a boat in saltwater and you don't maintain it properly, what you'll soon find out is you're going to have lost fishing days and costly repair bills. One thing you want to take into consideration is how hard or easy it is to access the systems of the boat. Now by systems, I'm referring to mechanical parts, things that need to be cleaned and maintained with periodic maintenance. Pumps, seacocks, batteries, fuses, all of these parts you'll want to get familiar with so you can take care of them. Even if you're not mechanically inclined, most people with just basic hand tools and the willingness to get a little dirt under their fingers can take care of their own boats. When you're looking at purchasing a new boat, open all the hatches. See how hard it is to get to the pumps and the hose clamps and the connections. If you've ever tried replacing a bilge pump through a small opening, you'll know what I'm talking about. Under most center consoles, you'll find a nest of wiring. How easy it is to get to this wiring should be a part of your buying decision. In the case of a brand new boat, you might think this is under warranty and I don't want to mess with it. It might void it. Is that going to be your excuse for cutting your vacation short? You'll want to get to know your boat before there's a system failure, and there's no better time when the boat is brand new. Everything is clean, it's easy to access, and the boat's in never better condition than when it left the factory. That's your best time to evaluate what tools you're going to need and if you're capable of working on the boat yourself. If you're a little apprehensive, talk with your dealer and have one of their techs spend a little time with you going over the boat. It'll get you familiar with the different systems. Down the road, it could be the difference between a minor inconvenience or a major repair bill.
There's plenty more to come, so stick around for more Florida Sportsman's Best Boat. This segment is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline four-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. Legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman's Best Boat. Let's get back to Dave and Rick.
Dave, at first glance, this is a bad design to me. I dealt with this for years with a bay boat I had, in the fact that that's how far you could get the cooler open.
Right.
Okay? So you're always trying to dig that cold Diet Coke out of the bottom, which you can't reach because you can't get your arm up under there. I think they've come up with a neat idea for this. Just hold the pin up, slide the cooler out, problem solved. How
Full
about
access.
that? Huh?
Very nice.
Not only that, it's a place to sit and watch the baits. Lean back against the rocket launcher, dude, and you're there. The evolution continues.
One unique feature on this Blue Wave is they've solved that problem.
Pull it out, slide it into place, open and get what you want. Dave, I'm a fan of this Livewell for a couple of reasons. First off, it's in the center of the boat. People don't realize how much water weighs, right? 8 pounds a gallon. So if you put 250 pounds of water over here, you just left one of your fishing partners home. When you center it better, you end up with a much better center of gravity. And when you go to these pipes that are adjustable in height, you can put a short pipe in there if you're doing live shrimp, or a tall pipe when you're doing live blue runners. You end up with a much more efficient system than hauling 250 pounds of water all the time.
Right, unless you need that much water, why haul all that weight?
Exactly right. And if you're gonna haul it in the center of your boat. And I'll tell you what else I like. You can still stand up here. You've still got your casting platform on the rear on each side. You're not standing on a shifting live well lid. This is a big lit live well with a full-blown 500-gallon-an-hour pump in it. It's exactly what you need to keep your bait alive. But you're in a tournament, okay? You've got all your bait in here. You got a fish you want to take to a weigh-in, okay? You can't mix the two of them. It'll kill your bait. So you've got a secondary release well over here that you can keep your fish in to get you back to the weigh-in without causing it a problem. Let me tell you one of the advantages of bigger boats. They're able to store enough tackle to where in the middle of the day you can say, hey, you know what, snook fishing's not working. Let's go tarpon fishing, and they've got the tackle to cover it. I like it when you've got these rear storage boxes like this that have locking lids with gaskets on them, and they keep dry tackle inside.
On this Blue Wave, you've got a huge hatch. All of your systems are right there, your battery, your pumps, your hose connections, easily accessible. You can reach in there and change a pump out like that.
I mean, you can reach the bilge pump without having a monkey to climb up in there for you to get to it?
Exactly, and all these are quick disconnect with Deutsch connectors. So if you had a spare pump in the middle of a tournament, you were going to lose your bait.
You better have a spare pump in the middle of a tournament.
Exactly. Well, this would be downtime of 3 minutes. Blue Wave has an innovation where they put a sump drain right in the center of the boat. That last little bit of water that just won't go out of the scuppers ends up in the sump drain. A pump takes it overboard. No more walking around in water. Man, we've had a great time. Andrew, thank you so much for your hospitality.
We've been delighted to have you here.
Your marina, your facility, it's beautiful. If you've never been down to the 10,000 Islands, this is the gateway to the 10,000 Islands. You got to come check out Calusa Island Marina. It's gorgeous. Tell us a little bit about the facility and what stuff you have to offer.
Well, thanks. As you mentioned, we're real close right to the 10,000 Islands National Wildlife Refuge and Everglades National Parks, just a couple minutes away by boat. We've got about 450 dry storage spaces here, boat lifts, we have an excellent boat ramp, parking for 100 boats and trailers, 124 wet slips. We've got 13 professional guides that are based here, so people are looking for a fantastic backwater fishing experience. A lot of redfish, a lot of snook, trout, tarpon, all real fantastic backwater fishing. It's a good place to bring a bay boat, spend the weekend with the family.
Yeah, it is beautiful with the mangroves, and we saw manatees and dolphin and stuff. Now, let's say somebody doesn't have a boat, but they still want to come and experience the 10,000 Islands.
We also have a couple of tour companies that are based here, even for the non-fisherman who wants to enjoy the area and see the local wildlife and stuff like that.
Okay, so one stop, anything you need. So
Got it all.
if you haven't been to the area, definitely do yourself a favor, come check it out. Andrew, thank you again.
Thanks
We
a lot,
really
man.
had a
Great
lot of
having
fun.
you guys.
When it comes to stalking the backwaters and bays of Marco Island for redfish and trout, or venturing out for some light offshore action, a 24-foot bay boat may just be the best boat for you. For more information on the Best Boat series, pick up a copy of our new magazine, Florida Sportsman Best Boat, at newsstands, or visit us on the web at floridasportsman.com.